Chapter 15, I Only See Strangers. I got my hands on my own medical records on the advice of my brief after a top-secret professionals-only meeting. The minutes of that meeting had past, present and future me, the whole lot mapped out behind my back, with meaningless jargon tossed about like person-centered planning. Translated into English, that means system-centered serving. I can't get my nut around the concept of how you can have a person at the centre when the person isn't even in the room, never given an invite. When my records turned up way after the legal 40 days time span, and I had to pay for them by the way, they were contained in 6 huge boxes, and I had only requested records from 2013 to 2014. After a quick shufti, one entry stuck out. It was notes from one of my ward rounds. Down the bottom of the page there was this. Dress, Scruffy, jeans and hooded sweatshirt, no shoes, mismatching socks. Mismatching socks is a sure sign that someone needs intervention. It's not easy to keep hold of your socks or any of your other stuff on a wacko ward. Once on Romilly unit, some dickhead took all my clothes and stuffed them in the clinical waste bin in the toilets. It's a case of weighing up the risks if you need any washing done anyway. If any of those agency bods are on shift, forget it. I had my best shirt end up lining an old takeaway tray. Nina had stuck a load of orange peel, toenail clippings and shredded loo paper on it and left it down as a litter tray for the cat that wasn't meant to be on the ward. I was looking for that shirt for weeks. The staff weren't interested because I didn't stick to the law of 10. The law of 10 is the rule that no staff member hears you until you've repeated the same thing at least 10 times or more. But what you can be sure of is that they will use the whole scenario against you by jotting down some crap along the lines of, Casey approaches staff only to get needs met. Alright, well, why would you approach staff for any other reason? I'm not sure. Nurse, are you aware there are poor starving people in Africa somewhere whose needs trump mine? The real reason they keep you waiting as much as possible is to provoke you into losing it. Then they can pathologise it. Casey can't control her anger. If you point any of their provocation out to them, the standard response is, play the game, Casey. But it's hard to keep track of the rules of the game, though, isn't it? They're expert goalpost movers. There was this one time in Bowden House when I was leaning on the hatch in the clinic room door, waiting while Beryl was searching for my meds chart. She found it at the bottom of the pile and pulled it out. Here it is. She scanned it quickly, opened a drawer, took out a box and popped 2 olanzapine tablets, then filled a cup with water and handed it to me with the pills. I peered at them. There was a 20ml and a 5, which meant she'd added 5. She watched me take them, so I swallowed the 5 and tongued the 20. She turned back to get another box from the cupboard. It didn't look like quetiapine, the other antipsychotic they had me on. What's that? Clonazepam. Clonazepam? I'm off that. I've detoxed myself from that shit twice now. I'm not taking it again. Do you know how fucking addictive that stuff is? Clonazepam was a strong tranquilizer which I had been put on and had to detox myself from twice, only to be told each time I had to go back on it. And it's much more addictive and stronger than things like diazepam, Valium. And the detox was not nice. Not that different from heroin withdrawal or detoxing from that. So you're refusing. I could feel the olanzapine beginning to dissolve under my tongue. Dr. Ledbury never said anything about that stuff. It's down here on your chart, Casey. I don't care. He never mentioned it. You're having a laugh if you think I'm going through that again. That withdrawal was a nightmare. Well, it was discussed in ward round. Like hell it was. What are you on about? He just said increase the olanzapine. You were in there, Beryl, for fuck's sake. Beryl shrugged her shoulders and turned her palms up. Well, I don't remember your ward round specifically. I've been in a lot of them this week, but it was discussed in MDT. MDT is the meeting they have before ward round. The behind closed doors top secret Cobra meeting. The one where they work out their story before they invite you in. For the kill or whatever they're going to What dude are you next? Head chop. Right, let me get this straight, Beryl. Somehow MDT is crystal clear in your head, but Wardround's blank? The olanzapine was now sticking to my cheek and fast dissolving. Beryl's expression tightened. Casey? Convenient or what? June, the Rottweiler, butted in. She had been listening and couldn't help herself. We don't play games, Casey. Oh, great. Super duper. I walked off. Under my breath, then who the fuck am I supposed to play the game with if you don't fucking play it? When I was safely in my room, I retrieved the remaining olanzapine with my tongue and spat it into my hand, then nipped into the loo, wrapped it in toilet paper and flushed it. If you drunk out of the drains of wacko hospitals, you would get hammered. Chapter 16. When the hearing began again, the jury filed in as the coroner fiddled with his papers. My phone rang, and everyone turned round, and it was like I was in the wrong court. There should be a dock, and I should have been in it. I had to wade through my pockets to find the stupid thing and gag it. It was a histopathologist up first, Dr. Michael Tarvel. He was asked what his job amounted to and stuff, and went on about pathology and what kind of thing causes what kind of death. He had examined tissue samples, pieces of dolly. I caught bits of it. Necrosis, liver cells, acute hepatic failure, fulminant something, aspartate trans something. He'd been inside her, blinding, closer than I was ever going to get, closer than I did get. I couldn't help thinking about that song by Labyrinth. I'm jealous of the rain that falls upon your skin. It's closer than my hands have been. Jealous of the rain. It's greener on the other side. That's how the laws of physics work. That green-eyed monster is out there night and day, watering, tending, deadheading, all that. It don't matter from which angle you look, there's bliss-riddled couples all over the gaff. It make no difference if they're young, old, middle-aged, black, white, yellow, stupid, ugly, deaf, blind, dumb, disabled, in wheelchairs, dementia, whatever. They got it better than you. They're having a ball. They ain't got a Scooby fucking do how good they got it. They got it all on tap. Jammy gits. When Dr. Tarble had finished giving his evidence, the other two women in the front row, that's the impromptu dark one and the grey nondescript one, who turned out to be the solicitors for East Langford General Hospital and Radford Mental Hospital, had a load of questions on the state of Dolly's liver and what could cause that pathology. Dolly's mum had no questions, and neither did Miss Tyler-Jones. So it was me then. I was still stuck on that last conversation I had with Dolly, on the phone. The heels, the piece of fruit. I stood up to question Dr. Tarlov. Can you tell me whether high blood sugars could lead to liver failure in anorexia? Dr. Tarlov glanced at the coroner, then back at me. I'm afraid you'll have to address that question to a doctor. I'm not an expert in nutrition. I felt stupid. There is a conspiracy going on, though. Nut hospitals can't help themselves. Radford's story goes that the final post-mortem test samples were lost by East Langford Hospital, so they must have found something they wanted to cover up. When Lottie had texted me about this mess-up around April 2016, I got right on the case and began my new job as private detective. I had sod all to go on, but I was a piece of piss to fill in the gaps myself. Over the rest of the long drawn-out months of the inquest, I got down to work. As it happens, I had to be doctor and forensic pathologist too, but that's dead easy when you've got Google. I now know that if blood sugar levels peak high in someone with anorexia, organs are likely to pack up, or worse. It's paramount I get an answer on this, whether the Radford staff missed that crucial warning sign, Dolly's high blood sugars. It's one of two main questions that were in my head before I came up here. The other one is whether Dolly ever got my message, the one I left with the staff on shift on Bicton Ward over the phone, the last message I was ever going to leave. I need to know if it was passed on. It's not relevant to the hearing, but it is to me. Because if Dolly had been given my message, it would have been an antidote. She would have found the strength to stay alive. I'm full on prepared to come across as a half-wit. Nothing is going to screw up my chance, however far outside, of finding how much of me reached Dolly before she left for fucking ever. Do you have any more questions, Miss Wheeler? The coroner's words spat out of his mouth like the splutter from a cold engine, leaving the waves of exhaust fumes in my head. No. The coroner read out the family statement next. I knew I was going to be dropped right in the frame. Despite the fact that Dolly's mum had softened towards me, their statement would have been written a while back. At the time of the funeral, getting on for 18 months ago, Layla had me as the culprit in her head. She picked the perfect person, for sure. The role of scapegoat was made for me. I was born into it, a natural. I knew it inside out before I was out of nappies, and by secondary school I was cast with horns and hooves set in stone. They might as well have changed my name to Azazel. I always put my hands up, especially to things I hadn't done. Layla had no need to point the finger. I had already singled myself out and was confessing my crimes to God and the world. I killed her! I killed her! I murdered Dolly! She's dead! I killed her! Murderer! Murderer! Murderer!